Welcome back to another Piano Lessons with Joel. On today's piano lesson, we will get back into page 24 in our book. Make sure you have your adult all-in-one course book ready to go. We'll be on page 24 and 25 talking about melodic intervals. We'll get to 26 and 27 talking about harmonic intervals, and then we'll also talk about dynamics. But before we do that, let's go ahead and turn back and do a little warm-up with page 23, Lightly Row and Aunt Rhodie. Let's do it. All right, so you have opened page 23, Lightly Row, and in the last lesson that we wrote in bar lines, we wrote in the note names, the finger numbers, and we also drew in the whole rests, which means that in this case the left hand was resting for the entire first system, and then when we get to the second system there, the right hand is resting. And then we also drew in, in this one we have double dots at the end to tell us to go back and do the entire piece again. All right, so let's do some warming up, starting with Lightly Row. So here again, we're starting with our fifth finger on G. Our third finger is ready for the E. And then, of course, fourth fingers are on the F. Second finger's on D, our thumb's ready on the C. Okay, so hopefully at this point you have all your bar lines written in, so that makes it a little bit easier to read your music. Of course, that's why we have the bar lines, and that's why we divide our music into measures to make it a little bit easier to read. Here we go. 2, ready, and go. G, F, C, G, left hand ready, go. G, E, F, C, 1, 2, repeat, right hand. G, E, F, C, and left hand, and F, C, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Remember, if this is a little bit too fast for you, go back and slow it down a little bit in the video. As for right now, we're going to go on to Aunt Rhodie. So again, let's see, we've already written in the bar lines. We have our note names written in, and hopefully by now you're beginning to recognize some of these notes without too much struggle, without necessarily having to refer to your written in letter name for each note. Yes, we're still using that as a reference, but let's see if we can begin to remember what these notes are just by looking at them. Okay, starting with our third finger in the right hand on the note E, and we're getting ready for second finger on D and down to C with the thumb. And let's keep this at about the same tempo, not too fast, not too slow. 1, 2, ready, and E. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, left hand, go. G. Now we're going to take a repeat. 2, right hand, go. D, left hand, Okay, let me know how you are doing with those by now in the comments below. We're going to move on. Again, go back and practice them if you need to with the video. Otherwise, go ahead and turn the page. Let's talk about melodic intervals. So melodic intervals are essentially, as it says there, the distance between tones, or the distance between notes, called seconds, thirds, fourths, and fifths. On these two pages, we're going to talk about seconds and thirds. Notes played separately make a melody. We call the intervals between these notes melodic intervals. Play these melodic seconds and thirds. Listen to the sound of each interval. So before we do some playing, let's take a quick look at the board, and I'll just kind of clear up a few things for you. On the board here, I've put our first exercise that we have there on page 24. So a melodic interval I think of as a moving interval, moving between notes. So essentially all you're doing here is counting from here to there. That's how we get a second from here. So we go 1, we always count the note, the first note as 1. So we go 1, 2, and that is a second. Okay, now over here, which is the next one in your book there, we're going from C to E, and that is a melodic third. So we start here 1, 2, 3. So a third, we are skipping over this note here. Okay, so we have to count it though. So 1, 2, and 3, and that's how we get up to a third. So these are melodic intervals going up. So a second up, a third up. Over here you see in measure 3 in your book, we have a second, 1, 2, going down. So these are descending intervals here, melodic intervals. So this is a second going down. And over here again we have a third, 1, 2, 3. We have to skip over that note in between. So 1, 2, 3, that's a third going down. Okay, so let's go ahead and look in our book and let's do some playing together. So the first exercise we have there, it begins with C to D, your first and second fingers, and then you're going from your thumb on C to the E, creating our melodic third. All right, so let's begin, and we'll take this nice and slow. 2, ready, and 2, 3. Get your left hand ready, and on G, G. Let's take the repeat. Go. Right hand. Left hand. Okay, so again in that one we had our melodic second in the right hand going from C to D, or our melodic third going C to E. And then we'll have in the left hand we're going down G to the F, and then G to E. That's our third going down. Next, the following excerpt contains only repeated notes and melodic seconds and thirds. So we begin with C's, and then we go up a second, and then we go up another second to the E, and then we come down a second, and then we go to the C, and then we skip up to that third to the E. All right, let's just do this one time through. 2, 3, and E, D, C, D. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's let's move on to Tisket A Tasket because we have not discussed or played this one yet. So this one's brand new for us. So this will definitely be part of our homework in addition to what we're doing on page 25. All right. So let's just talk through this one a little bit. In measure 1, we start with thumb on G, and then we go a third down to the E. So we start on G, and then we're moving down to our third finger on the E, which is a third down, and then we come up to the F, which is a second. We move up again to the G, back down a third, up a second to the G again. Then we have repeated notes, down to the E. Okay, so a lot of repetition in there. We're jumping thirds, we're moving in seconds, but these are all melodic intervals, melodic seconds, melodic thirds. And then when we get to the second system there, or the second line, we're using now our second finger on F, and then we'll jump down to the D, and then that measure happens again. And then we're going to move all seconds down to the N. So we start on G, next finger, okay. So a bit of repetition in here, and once you get it under your fingers, you'll be just fine. All right, so let's do this one. You can just listen right now as I play, and then you can practice this one for your homework. 1, 2, 3, G. 2. Next line, F, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. At the top of page 25, we read the distance from any white key to the next white key up or down is called a second. So we're going from middle C, which is a white key right in the middle of your keyboard, right, to the next white key up to the D, that is a second. Okay, over here in the bass clef, when we were going down, we're going from G down to the very next white key, that is an F. That's your second. If you move on, when you skip a white key, the interval is a third. So that's how we get here. So we're going from a C to an E. We're skipping that D in here. Over here in the bass clef, we're going from a G down to an E, and we're skipping that F in between. So kind of just simple logistics there, right? If you just skip that one key basically in the middle, you're going to have a third. If you go to the next white key, either up or down, that is a second, either going up or down. Halfway down page 25, you see part of your homework for this week or for this lesson. The first two are done for you. They have a second going up. The next one there is a third moving down. The next one, the third one that you see in there, we're going from the D to the E. So we're moving up to begin with. We're going up. So we'll put up in there. And we're just going 1, 2. 1, 2, so that's a second. So we'll write second in there. And the next one that you see, which is the fourth one, we're going from the F down to a D. So we're moving down. So we'll write the word down in. And we're skipping over a note here. We're skipping over a white key. So we go F, E, D. So count down, that's a third. All right, so your homework this week, part of your homework will be simply to go through each one of them and write in whether they're a second or a third and if they're going up or down. And it also tells you if it is the same note, just write same note in there. And it's not going anywhere. It's not going up. It's not going down. It's just the same note. Let's turn the page. On this page, we now talk about harmonic intervals, which is those same notes that we were playing melodically, but now we're going to play them together at the same time. Notes played together make harmony. We call the intervals between these notes harmonic intervals. So we have melodic intervals that go one at a time, and then harmonic intervals which we play at the same time. So we're kind of stacking them on top of each other. Play these harmonic seconds and thirds. Listen to the sound of each interval. So we're playing the exact same notes we did on the page before, except for now we're going to play them at the same time. So how about I play this one through first, and then we'll go back and we'll play it together. All right, so I'm going to start right at the first one there. I'm going to play C and D together. You notice how they're kind of stacked on top of each other. And that's how harmony is written, when the notes are stacked on top of each other. All right, I'm going to start right at the beginning. 2, ready with the seconds, and 1, 2, C and D to C and E. Now my left hand comes in, F and G to E and G, back to the second, and back to the third. And of course we have that trusty old repeat sign there that tells us to do it all again. All right, how about we do this together? And we'll slow it down some. Here we go. So you have your thumb and your second finger ready to go. 1, 2, ready, and 1, 2, 3. Back to the second, to the third. Now get your left hand ready, and 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Let's take the repeat. Right hand go. 1, 2, 1, 2. Left hand. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. Yay! You're getting to the point now where you're playing two fingers at the same time. So that's a big step. All right, moving down to rockin' intervals. I am going to leave this for part of your homework. We have a quarter rest in here, and we're putting intervals of seconds and thirds together in the left hand. So you start with the right hand first, and then you go to your left hand, then back to right hand, back to left hand. So that is going to be part of your homework. Let's see how you do with that. And then next time I see you, we will play that together. Go over to page 27. Play these harmonic seconds and thirds. Say the name of each interval as you play. All right, so we'll go ahead and play that. And then number 2 on that page will be part of your homework. And then the bottom of the page will also be part of your homework. So you have a bit of homework to do, a little bit of writing in addition to all your practicing. All right. Top of page 27, let's play these together. It's very similar as what we just did at the top of page 26. Check your left hand. When it first comes in, it's playing C and D down here, and then it moves to C and E, so you'll move to your 5 and your 3. In measure 3, when you're coming in with your right hand, you're going to need to have your 4th and 5th finger ready, and then that's going to move to your 3rd and 5th finger, and then the left hand is going to follow up with the 1st and 2nd and the 1st and 3rd finger. Again, it says play these harmonic seconds and thirds. Say the name of each interval as you play. All right, here we go. Keep it slow. Keep it slow. 1, 2, stay right with me, and go. 1, 2, second, third. Next measure. And second, third. And let's stop right there. Admittedly, it is a little tricky to say seconds, thirds as you're playing, because I am so used to counting myself. Let's do this again. We'll try to say second and third as we play. 1, 2, ready, and second, third, left hand, second, third, right hand, second, third, left hand, second, third, repeat, second, third, left hand, second, third, second, third, and back to your left hand, second. Okay, well done, my friends. Well done. It's a lot of playing. Again, take your time with that. Do some practicing. Come back and do it with the video again. All right. In the empty boxes, write the names of the notes that complete these harmonic intervals. What they need for you to do there is write in the letter name above, in this case, or below, depending on where you are. So the first one that you see there where it says a second above the note C is D, of course. Okay, now the next one, a second above D, E. All right, I'll let you go ahead and finish the rest of them. We'll check them in your next lesson. Harmonica, rock. Write the name of each harmonic interval in the box above it. Second or third, play saying the name of each interval. All right, I'm going to let you do all of that for homework, and the next time that I see you, we'll go over that. All right, before we finish up here, let's talk about dynamics. Turn back to page 24. Find the pink box that says dynamic signs. Dynamic signs tell how loud or soft to play. So when you see a P in your music, such as we do in Alfred, that tells us to play soft, play softly. That's how when you go to a concert, when you hear somebody playing, singing, whatever, when you hear it get louder, hear it get softer, we call them dynamics. And those markings are put in by the composer. All right, so the next one down, we see mezzo forte. And mezzo forte equals moderately loud. Now, interestingly enough, in this book, they went with mezzo forte first. Forte means loud. So we will often see just the letter F as well as mezzo forte and so forth. So when I think of forte, I like to think of strong. Yes, it does mean loud. I like to think of strong. It just conveys just a little bit different nuance than saying play loud, play loudly. Okay, but anyway, mezzo forte means moderately loud. So if we turn the page, oh, I'm sorry, before we go on, Tisket A Tasket, you see there's a mezzo forte there. So you're going to play that one a little bit stronger than you would à clair de la lune. So let's go back. Let me just do a little playing. So clair de lune, softly. So that would be softly. Maybe a little bit stronger for Tisket, Tasket. So just a little bit stronger for mezzo forte. Now, a lot of this depends, it's all relative, meaning if your piano or your soft is very soft, then your mezzo forte is not going to be a whole lot louder than your piano. And it really depends on the piece that you're playing. So these are kind of, just kind of markers for us as we're playing. And as you turn the page, there it is, forte. Forte equals loud. And again, I like to think forte meaning strong. So when we play rock is melodic, we're gonna play strong because that's rockin' is, right? Rock. So forte. And again, I'm not going to give all that away because that's part of your homework. And again, don't think that forte means to bang on the piano. You want it to be, you want the tone of your piano to sound pleasing to the ear. If it sounds harsh, then don't play loudly. Keep it at mezzo forte. Oftentimes, while I'm teaching, I will cross out F and put P for soft, because a lot of times playing loud comes pretty easily to us. Playing softly takes a little bit more control, so we work on playing softly, in my opinion, quite a bit more than we do on playing loudly. Moving on, let's go ahead and review all your homework that you have for this coming, for the next lesson that we have. Again, make sure you're going back to practice all the pieces that we have so far. Go all the way back to Ode to Joy. Make sure you go back that far and keep playing through all those pieces we've worked on. You will be doing for homework, you're practicing page 24. You are, because that's new for you, Tisket A Tasket, that's brand new for you. You are filling in the intervals and whether they're up or going down on page 25. And on page 26, you're practicing rocking intervals. You're practicing playing harmonic intervals, which means you're playing at the same time. And then on page 27, you're filling in the empty boxes where you need to write in the letter name of the note above, depending on what interval they're requesting. And then at the bottom, harmonica rock, which sounds like a fantastic piece, right? You're going to write in the intervals there as well. So for between now and the next lesson, we're talking all about intervals. And then you can take a peek ahead to page 28 and 29 as we expand intervals to fourths and fifths. I don't want to throw too much on you, so we're going to hold on to that for the next time I see you. Let's just go up to page 27 for now. All right, my friends, thank you for being with me again with Piano Lessons with Joel. If you have any questions, please drop a comment below and let me know how else I can help you. But until then, till I see you in our next lesson, thank you for joining me, Piano Lessons with Joel, and keep practicing, and we'll get better and better every day. All right, see you on the next lesson. Bye-bye.